Hey guys, welcome back to Slow Travel Chronicles. My name is Stephanie and this is my husband Garrett. And if you come and watch our videos each and every Thursday, we typically share our travel adventures, Airbnb tours, that sort of thing. But in this week's video, I wanted to do something a little bit different. So we are semi-nomadic. We have a condo that we bought right after we retired. And so we have to actually prepare our home for when we leave. And I know a lot of people watching, they may not want to jump full force into a nomad lifestyle. They may choose to be semi-nomadic like we are. So I wanted to share some of the things that we do to prep for each and every trip that we do. Now, this is for longer trips, anything like over a week. If we're going away for a weekend, we don't do all of these things, but I thought it would be helpful for some of you guys to hear what we do. And I've broken that down into 3 categories, and I have my computer in front of me, so if I look there, so I don't forget anything, you know why. But we have 3 categories: friends, family, and third party. Those are things that places we have to reach out. Friends and family we notify of our trip, the things we do inside our condo, and what we do outside. And so those are what I wanted to share with you guys. And Garrett, do you want to start with some friends, family, and third-party items?
Friends, family, and third-party
I
items?
grouped them all together.
I'll do my best. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't actually read what's on
Here,
the screen.
we have a pretty close...
Yeah, we do, don't we? Ooh, no, we don't. Okay. Friends, family, third parties. The first thing we do, just to keep our parents happy, is we send them our itinerary. Airbnb, names, contact information, flight information. If we're going to be traveling by train, we let them know at least what date we're going to be on the train, even if we're not certain what time we're going to leave. So that's probably the most important thing we do, just for the sake of, or the peace of mind for our family.
Yeah.
And then, what else do we do?
Well, we stop or forward our mail depending on how long we're going to be gone. So if our trip is less than 30 days, we just put our mail on hold, and when we get back, we have it picked up. If we're going to be gone longer than 30 days, we forward our mail. So,
and we don't have a choice. The post office tells you they won't hold it more than 30 days.
Yeah, so we forward that. We've forwarded it to our in-laws or my in-laws. Going forward, now that our daughter has her own apartment, we are going to forward it to her. So Kendall, now you know. And she doesn't know yet. Well, she probably won't even watch the video, so she may not even know. Then we also look at our internet, and we can sometimes put that in vacation mode, and we can do that if we're away 90 days. Which I wish they would do shorter term or shorter amount of time, but they won't. And you know, we can power through a day or 2 without internet, but longer than that, we'll just bite the bullet. But you should check with your internet provider. They may have a different plan. We're on Xfinity.
Yeah, Xfinity.
Xfinity, so that's what they do. Your provider may offer you a shorter term, which would be good. And then I take medicine, and I have to make sure that I have enough medicine with me, and that can be challenging depending on where you get your prescriptions filled. You know, sometimes they will only fill 30 days at a time. Sometimes you can have your doctor write your prescriptions for 90 days at a time. And for years, I used some of the bigger grocery stores and drug stores to get my prescriptions. But what I've found, that I've gone to a local pharmacy, and they have worked with me fabulously to get all of my prescriptions synced. So I pick them all up at one time. In the past, I was going, you know, once every other week to get medicine, but they also will work with me, and they will sometimes fill my prescription off of insurance. They find it a way to make it affordable so that I can take a 90-day supply if my insurance won't allow me to fill it for 90 days. Now, obviously, they don't do that if I don't have refills left, but that's another point. When you're filling your prescriptions, don't wait until the last minute to do it, because if you find out you need a doctor's consultation or a doctor's appointment, that would kind of suck if you waited till the last day. So double check a couple of weeks in advance. That way, if you need to get into the doctor, you can do that. Or with all the supply chain issues, I haven't had that as a problem yet, but you know, get it in advance so that you're not out of luck at the last minute.
And make sure you pack your prescriptions, your medications in your carry-on bag.
Oh, that's a
common sense, but a lot of people forget that. It's just better safe than sorry.
Yeah, I do that, and I also keep a copy of my actual prescription in my in with my medicine also, just in case I were to be questioned at security somewhere or customs in another country. So far, knock on wood, it has not been an issue, and you know, sometimes you can always go to, if you did have a problem, go to a doctor in another country and get your medicine filled. Another thing that we also do is we double check our flight information
Yeah.
and our Airbnbs to make sure that we have the dates correct. I think we've made a couple of boo-boos along the way.
Yeah, a couple of minor boo-boos. There have been times when we have thought, oh, we're flying home next Tuesday, and then come Sunday, it's like, oh no, we're flying home tomorrow. We just had it written down wrong somewhere along the way. So we always double check dates, triple check them, particularly when we're booking travel, planes, trains, and what have you. So.
We do that. Another thing you can do that will save you money is pause your auto insurance. So we have 2 cars, and we just got back from a trip out of town for 2 weeks, and Garrett paused his car, the insurance on his car, and we left mine active because I'm driving for an upcoming trip. But if we're out of the country for 30 days or longer, we will just garage our car, I guess is what it's called. Check with your insurance company. They may or may not offer that. They probably do. But it saves, you know, $80, $50, depending on the length of time.
I think our premium drops by 60 to 70% during the time we're away.
Oh, so that's better than I thought. So definitely do that. We also notify, we're in a condo building, and so we notify our HOA so that they are aware in case we had running water or there was a leak somewhere, they know they can come in. We also notify our neighbors, so if they like saw our door open or something like that. Other things we do is we get credit card travel authorizations. Sometimes you can just do that in the app. Some credit cards don't even require that anymore, so check on your own credit cards to see if you need to do that.
And we always take at least 3 different credit cards with us. The last time we were in Austria, and for some reason my credit card wouldn't work, and I called them and they kept telling me on their end it was working. And so, you know, it wasn't a card that we use very often, but I was kind of miffed that I actually wanted to use it, and they denied it every single time.
Yeah, so and keep them separate. So he carries 2 and I carry 1, and we never take mine out of the apartment at all. So just to have a backup funds. Speaking of funds, one of the other things that we do is we go to the bank and we get currency in the country that we're going to.
Yeah, we're lucky enough to live just basically down the street from a bank that has an international monetary or international travel office. I don't know what they call it, but you go there just like going to the bank. They got a nice little counter, and you go up there and say, I've got $500 in cash. I'd like to buy $500 in British pounds or euros or Mexican pesos, and they charge, I think it's like $8 plus a small percentage, and it's better than any of the deals we've seen where you pull money off from your credit card in a foreign country.
Yeah, and it's just good to have pocket money when you first get there, because you may take a cab and they only take cash, and it's better to have it instead of like scrambling at the last minute to get that. And we brought back a little bit of money every time, but you know, it hasn't been that big of a deal. Because we're in a condo, and unless we're driving somewhere, we actually schedule a ride to and from the airport. We don't use Uber, although we could. We have a private driver that is comparable to an Uber, maybe a little bit more, but she doesn't care if she has to pick us up at 1 o'clock in the morning or 4 a.m. She's here and we know she's going to come. So we schedule those in advance so that we're not rushing and, you know, picking an Uber that doesn't show. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is don't forget your passport, and which, you know, that sounds, we've had a passport issue
we have
before where our daughter's passport expired. We assumed that it was the same expiration date as ours were, because we all got them on the same day, but she was under 18 at the time, and it was not fun. So make sure you have your passport, double check the expiration date. And another reason you would want to do that, there are some countries that won't let you in if your passport expires within 6 months. So check the dates and check that early, so you don't have a struggle with that. And then the State Department, the travel notifications.
Yeah, there's an app, I can't remember what it's called, but you can submit a travel notification to the State Department, and basically you're telling the government, I'm going to be in this foreign country, and they'll let you know if there's any problems. I think we've gotten a couple of emails while we were in Austria. They said, oh, they're planning mass demonstrations on this date in this area of town, just be aware of it. And they send you things like, if you need to have your passport renewed, we can do that while you're in Austria, if you're in such and such country or such and such city. So I don't know if it does us any good or not, but can't hurt.
Can't hurt. At least they know we're there. If there's like a major issue and we had to get out, they at least know we're there. So I think that wraps up the family, friends, third party. If you have other things that you do that we missed, let us know, because we would love to add to our list if we're missing something important. Next, we'll just move on to what we do on the inside of the house, and depending on the size of your house, and if you live in a condo, you may or may not do all of these things.
But a lot of it's, pretty simple, common sense stuff. We either turn the air conditioner or heater off, or we turn it to an appropriate temperature so it doesn't run all the time. Shut off the water, dump the ice, shut off the ice maker in the refrigerator, just to be sure.
And then 2 weeks ahead of time, we start eating all of the food that we have. So we try to clear out the freezer just in case there is a power outage. You don't want to lose all the food, and you don't want to come home to find out it all rotted, and now you have to throw it away and lose money. But we also have a trick that we do to help us know if there was a major power outage. We place a cup of ice in the freezer, just about this thick, and we put a coin on top. And when we get back, we pull that cup out and we see where the coin is. And if it's at the bottom of the cup, we know we had a major power outage.
Yeah.
If it's like a little bit down.
If it's on top of the ice, it's all good.
Yes.
And obviously, if we're going to be gone for a long weekend or a week, we're not as concerned about our refrigerator, but most of our trips are longer than 2 months. So, we just don't want to leave anything around that could melt or go bad.
Yeah, and about 2 weeks before, we start having some really weird food combination dinners.
Yeah.
But, it's okay. It's better than losing food in a power outage. We also go through and we unplug the unnecessary appliances. We have an air purifier as an example. That doesn't need to run while we're not here, so we do that.
Toaster oven, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and then obviously you have to take out the trash, but we do a big clean before we go. So when we come home, I have clean sheets on the bed, I have clean towels ready to go, and it's just relaxing when you get home and it's clean and you don't have to worry about any of that. And then like today, we're leaving tomorrow for a trip. I went down and did laundry and got all of that done, so the towels are clean, sheets are clean, all of that.
I pulled in the patio furniture. We got a small patio, a couple of chairs and tables. We pull them inside. Probably don't have to, but we're not here a lot. We don't want to have our patio furniture just sitting out there getting snowed and rained on. It's easier just to pull it in, and when we get back, we just pop it back out.
Yes, and then we also close our blinds and curtains. Just there's no need for the sun to come in and bleach furniture. Because we are in a condo, and this is something you likely would not do, but there is a risk that water could come down from a unit above us, and we have artwork on certain walls that if there was a water problem, the water would come down on certain walls. So we actually remove the artwork from those walls and place them on our bed as a precaution. So a couple of other things before we go to outside stuff is obviously pack. That's, you gotta have your stuff. But you also need to charge your devices. So charge your phone, charge your iPad, make sure the battery on your laptop's charged, batteries to your camera are charged, so you're ready to go. Also, so you have some entertainment on the plane, find a book, find a magazine, or download shows, movies, YouTube videos, podcasts that you might want to listen to, have those ready to go. Another thing, some of the travel apps you don't use all the time, and you may not have updated them. So double check the apps that you may use and get those all updated while you're at home. It's just easier to not have to wait to upload an app when you're there. Print your tickets.
Yes. We always print our tickets, even though they're on our phone, just in case there's a problem. You have a backup. It's 10 pages of paper, what have you. And I mean tickets. I don't mean just plane tickets, but also train tickets, museum tickets. We buy a lot of tickets in advance. Tour tickets if you're going on a tour. Essentially, before we leave town, I will print one of pretty much anything that can be printed, and it's just nice to have a backup. It also helps to print out where you're going. If you land in a foreign country and you have to go to your Airbnb and you don't speak the local language, well, you better be able to show the taxi driver where you're going. And if your cell phone conks out at the wrong time, you can't get Airbnb, then you're going to be standing there looking like an idiot. So just keep in mind that it's always helpful to have a few things backed up and actually printed in case you have lack of service, cell phone battery dies, what have you.
Yeah, and then another thing, if you have valuables, you may want to hide them in a space or in a safe in your home, just in case you have a break-in or other workers are in your home. We have a safety deposit box that our passports are in when we are not traveling outside of the country, and then other valuables are there and important documents while we are out of the country.
Yep.
And then our last category is what we need to do outside, and that's car stuff, so I'll let Garrett tell you about that.
That's pretty simple. We don't have a yard anymore. We don't have to worry about yard upkeep, cutting grass, that sort of thing. We do have to worry about is our cars. We have 2 cars still. We park outside behind our condo building. There are probably another 150 cars out there. But what we don't have access to is power, so we can't use a battery tickler. So what we do is we just park our cars in spaces that we hope will not be a problem because our cars can't be moved for the next 2 or 3 months, and pop the battery off. Just disconnect the negative terminal, make sure the cable is well away from the battery, shut it up, and cross our fingers so nothing happens to it while we're gone.
Yeah, so far we haven't had any issue doing that.
Nope.
And I guess that pretty much wraps up the video. So thanks again for watching, and come back next Thursday to see where our adventures take us next. And as always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, do all of the things. And have a great week, and check out our blog at slowtravelchronicles.com. See you next Thursday.
You say that at the end of every video.
I do.
Okay, sounds good.
Bye.
Thanks.